Use under the weather to supersize and grow your business. Sharon Hornelstrom here. This is a little sailing ship for a reason. It's from a puzzle piece. Under the weather, this idiom, this expression has been around for probably since the mid 1800s. Even after sailing was no longer the main mode of transportation, the saying and the expression carried on. It's a nautical term back in the days when sailing ships in the ocean blue and all that were the main form of transportation. And when either a crew member or a traveler on the ship would get sick or be unwell because of rocky seas or foul weather, they would be sent under decks to their rooms or their bunks to weather the storm. They'd literally be sent under the weather in the ship to feel better. So there were less people, I guess, regurgitating on the decks. Well, this idiom and expression came to mean that, of course, whenever anyone is feeling unwell, we could apply this to our businesses as well as ourselves. When I'm feeling unwell, I grab my comfy robes and I hunker down with some nice hot tea. My kids taught me how to make this crazy tea that really helps with colds and congestion and things like that. But it tastes a little bit like poison, but it's very good for you. It's got all the things that are good for you in it when you're feeling under the weather. So this idiom, this expression, I'm going to go there. I would say that one of the biggest lessons learned from the COVID pandemic, for me personally, and I hope for other people, is that when we're sick or feeling under the weather, we need to stay the heck away from other people. Now, I feel this one was a huge lesson for me because I was one of those people back in corporate America running my own business back in the day when I wasn't working from home. Now I've been working from home since 2017, December 2016 actually. But prior to that, if I was sick, it didn't matter. I had a sinus infection, if I had a cold, if I had the flu, there were less than a handful of days in all my years, in all the decades that I've been here, that I actually, with the exception of in my 20s, chronic pain before I was working. And it didn't matter when I was working from home, but there were less than a handful of days that I actually missed work because I was sick or under the weather. One, I had kidney surgery, pretty good reason to miss work. And so I was that person that went to work no matter what when I was sick. Now, I would hide myself off in my office and things most of the time, and I would kind of self-quarantine, but I was still there working on days and times when I absolutely should not have been. Unlike COVID times now, where we sanitize everything automatically, that didn't happen back then. That didn't happen back in the day. So I was one of those people that was super guilty of going to work when I shouldn't have, because I was sick and I should have been home, right? But it was those days of you show up no matter what, you power through it. I was one of those old school people. So now, if you're sick, if you've got a cold, stay away from other people, stay home, sanitize, wipe things off, etc. Let's make sure that we've at least learned that lesson. And I know that some people haven't, because my brother-in-law got sick the other day because somebody came into his work with a really bad cold that she got from the grandkids. Well, we didn't learn that lesson. So I think that the lesson is still out there that we can learn. Now, how does this apply to our businesses? What do you personally do when you're under the weather? I'm curious about that. What are you doing in your company with respect to COVID? What is the biggest change you personally have made in your business because of the COVID pandemic? Now, some of us were working from home prior to COVID. So for me personally, there weren't a whole lot of changes. Did I stop going to places? Yes. Did I do more sanitizing than I ever did before and still do? Yes. Did I order my groceries at home since COVID? Yes. Oh my gosh, I can't believe that I never thought to have my groceries just delivered to my house. What a given. And technology, as far as COVID goes, technology has jumped leaps and bounds. Services and products and the way things are delivered to people, things that companies I know and some of the corporations and companies that I've worked with had wanted to do for a long time but never actually pulled the trigger on and did, like curbside pickup, delivery to home, etc. They just never did it. Online components of their business that they just never got around to doing because it wasn't a priority. COVID shifted all that and made it not just a priority, it made it a necessity. And so there are companies delivering products and services to people in ways that they never had even imagined before. And then there's the ones that had thought about it, just hadn't done it yet, are doing it now as well. So what part of your business is a little bit under the weather and could use a little bit of attention and upgrade? I'm curious about that. I know there's a couple places in my business. I'm missing a couple of team members that, as I thought about this under the weather today, I'm like, oh my gosh, I need to fill in those few holes that I know are in my organization. And I don't need to wait for an excuse like a pandemic to give myself permission to do that. I need to do it now because I'm aware of them. So share in the comments below, what do you do when you are personally under the weather, and what do you do when an area of your business is under the weather? Because then we can all learn from one another. Have an awesome day. I will, of course, be with you with another emotion-related idiom for the next couple of days. What it means, where it comes from, and how might you use it and apply it to your business today. Have an awesome day.